This video is made for an adult audience. Hey Brick fans, welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes I have baked. I'm Jacob and today it's time to continue work on the raised section of my Lego city. In my last video I told you about my Lego holidays and how my Lego holidays had actually inspired me to do some work in my Lego city. And today I'll be implementing some of that in the build right here behind me. This is the raised section that I'm continuing to work on in this video. So without further ado, let's get into building. Here we are back at the raised section, and as you can see I've already found some different pieces that I want to use for this shop here. This is going to be a candy shop or a candy store, which I've been gathering ideas for a while now for that. While I was in Legoland, I got some great ideas to make some specific pieces of candy in sort of a 3D signed way, so I want to implement that. But overall I want to use a lot of light colors. Maybe some of the lighter reds and lighter blues to build that, because I think that'll give it this wonderful candy look. So that's what's gonna be right here. I am also thinking that I'll implement some kind of shop down here and here, so I'll decrease the amount of gray that's actually used. I want more buildings rather than gray wall. And on a quick side note, of course, once I had decided that these arches and these pillars here should be white, I went out in a Lego shop and I found several of these gray, light bluish gray arches here. So now I've got plenty of these and I could turn all this gray, but now I've grown so fond of the white that I'm gonna keep that. The thing is though, I don't have any more of these 12 wide arches for this over here. So either I'm gonna make one big one using some of these smaller ones, so I can make a much wider arch, or I'm going to use several of these, these here, these shorter 10 or 8 wide arches to make some, smaller, shorter arches here. I think that could look good as well, and maybe then I'll make the gray wall like here instead. But for now, I'm going to work on this right here. This is the candy shop, and I've really been looking forward to that. So this is sort of the initial idea for the front. You've got these patterns here which matches with these here, which are meant to look like those English licorice pieces. I think in Denmark we just call it lakridskonfekt, which means licorice confectionery or something like that. It's great. It's a great piece of candy, and I think it is English originally. But I do like the look, and it's very simple but very effective to build it like this. I think these are almost one-to-one with the actual size of them in the real world. So having these as sort of a 3D sign up here, I think would look great. Initially, I was thinking I would mount these just like this on the front of the candy shop, but then I thought, why not make some kind of small roof to go out above the door like this? So I utilized some snot technique, so I can actually put these on top like this, which will, I think, be much more interesting, to look at. Now I got to do something so two of them can get stacked in one way or another, but I'll figure that out. But I think this looks very interesting and really sort of brings the whole idea of a candy shop home. And here we go. This is at least my first version of this candy shop. I do love this color scheme. I think it goes great with the orange and the dark purple and the white and the pink and all that. I think this works very well. I've added these two clouds just to add some detail that's a bit candy-ish, and of course added some of these one by one tiles, round tiles in the appropriate colors. I think this looks good. Please let me know in the comments if you have any kind of suggestions or ideas for this. But for now, this is my first iteration of this candy shop. As I've finished this, the next move for me is to add these smaller arches here to give this sort of a bookend. So I've run into a bit of an issue here. This ends up in an even number, but these are this wide, so it's going to be pretty difficult unless I have a maybe, hang on a second, I just realized that there's no problem at all. I can just use a shorter arch like this, and we'll have 2, 4, 6, 8 wide arches and 1 6 wide arch, and it'll all come to a beautiful end down here. There we go, that's these arches finished, and I've also started the fence up here. Now, I do have another issue, which is this end over here doesn't match up with the width of these fence parts here, which would be looking like this at the end. So I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of ending there, but that's, yeah, I'm gonna figure that out. But other than that, I do like the look. And I like these arches actually. I do like that they sort of decrease in size. That looks interesting, I think. And filling them out with gray is going to look cool. Maybe also some kind of growth or plants or something like that would be good. Instead of just having one wall with one type of bricks in it, either the masonry bricks or just some of the more plain bricks, I'm trying to add a lot of detail by using different types and different colors, and I think that looks good. Now, adding some of the classic plant pieces, I think is going to look great. These here, I was lucky enough to get those in a pad wall not too long ago. I believe it was in I don't know, maybe it was in Germany, or maybe it was in Copenhagen, who knows? Anyway, this will look good, I'm sure. I need one of the smaller ones of these. There are ones that are sort of half size, and I think that would fit fine up here. I think this will be too big and cover up too much. But the other one would give a nice bookend to it. I do have it somewhere, but I can't find it right now. I'll be adding it when I find it. But I will be continuing work on this and the arch just next to it to get sort of a finished look over here. So I've finished this one as well, and I've added this little door up here. I don't know what that is in particular, but I just like that little detail. Of course, I'm open for suggestions for this, but I do like it. It adds, I don't know, a sense of mystery maybe. It could be sort of a jail cell window thing as well, but I like this little brown door. That's the walls filled in, and of course there's room for one more shop here, which I'll have to think about shortly. Yeah, I don't know, maybe this is too much detail for my regular style. I'd love to hear you folks comment on this, because this is something I don't do too much, adding all these details and colors like this. But I do like the idea of this old wall that's sort of crumbling a bit and has been maybe crumbling for some years. Could also add someone down at the bottom who's painting it or something like that. I don't know. Well, I'll have to look into what to do right here. One last thing today, I'll put in some more scaffolding over here. So there's actually room for one more modular all count it. It'll be exciting to see how that looks. Oh, and by the way, one of my viewers suggested that I get a hold of some Duplo to build scaffolding for these modulars, and I actually managed to find some at a reasonable price. So yeah, I'll be using these to make some scaffolding for the modulars. That's the scaffolding done, and now I just need to put on some modulars so we can see how it looks. For those of you who might be wondering, yes, Duplo bricks are actually compatible with regular system bricks. You can just put them on top like this, and you can convert your Duplos into very large system Lego pieces. So that's very neat when you want to make something like that, because it goes much faster. These are much bigger, takes up more room. But on we go, adding some modular buildings. So this is how it looks at this point. I've got to say that I am thoroughly pleased. I really like how this elevates, both literally and in the non-literal sense, raises the look of this city. The depth, height, and sort of detail that's added by adding such a raised section is just wonderful. And I've got to admit that I can't wait to get it into my city. For real, this is just my workspace, and the city is right over there, right out of sight, but I won't add it today. I have got some plans, of course, to finish up here, and I've got to prepare everything underneath here for the trains, so there can actually be trains moving beneath that, because that is the idea. This is sort of also a train tunnel as well as a raised section of the city. So yeah, that's going to be cool to work with as well. But I think I'll leave you with some glamour shots, and we'll be done for today. I think the raised section is coming together very nicely at this point. I liked implementing some of the ideas I've gotten over my holidays, and I'm really pondering whether or not I should actually be adding interiors for these small buildings down here. I'm on the fence about it, because on the one hand, I'm fairly certain they will never ever be seen again, even if I add lights, because it's so small and it's going to be way out in the distance. On the other hand, it would be interesting to do that. If you have any kind of thoughts on that, please let me know in the comments below. Moreover, I'm really looking forward to add train tracks here, so I can actually start making the tunnel thing. I'll have to redo some of that scaffolding to make it all fit, but other than that, it's going to be interesting to do train tracks. I haven't worked a lot with that, so I'm really looking forward to that challenge. But that is all for me today. I hope you'll comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you folks next time.